I'm no stranger to the hustle. Chasing the next dollar, generating income between gigs and contracts can be a nightmare. So in today's video, I thought I'd share 5 side hustles that I've used over the years to keep myself from being a starving artist. If you're new to the channel, my name is Hassiem. I'm an award-winning actor. I've been on TV. I've performed on stages around the country. And although I'm not rich or famous yet, I am a working actor who supports themselves as a freelancer. Little disclaimer before we dive in. I have this rule with myself where I don't tell people how much money I make. So when I go through these 5 side hustles, I will do them in order from the least amount earned to the most amount earned in 1 month, but I'm not going to give you like exact dollar amounts. I will say on the low end, around 600 in a month was feasible. The high end that I ever made from one of these side hustles in a single month was about 6,000. Okay, let's go. When I first moved to New York City, I had a fellowship at Lincoln Center. The fellowship paid relatively well for like being fresh out of college. You know, it covered my rent, my food, all of my essentials, but I still needed a little pocket change. You know what I'm saying? So I started dog walking. That was my first ever side hustle. I signed up as a user on WAG. There's a lot of different apps out there. You can do a little Googling and find something that's active in your area. I signed up to be a walker. I just set my availability and then people started hiring me to walk their dogs. You know, it's not gonna make you crazy money, but I looked back on my budget spreadsheet from 2019 and I saw that I made around $600 a month walking dogs. Not a bad way to make some dough fresh out of school. The second side hustle on my list is consulting. I worked with this consultancy called Artist Strategy to help develop business plans for artists and help them to adopt an entrepreneurial mindset. So I worked one-on-one with other actors and just helped them along in their career. Yeah, not much more to say about that one. This one paid decent, but it wasn't the most consistent. Number 3, being a handyman. So when I first moved to New York, I had that fellowship and then I booked a couple gigs back to back. I did a play, I had a TV spot. And so for like the first 9 months that I was in New York, aside from walking dogs, I didn't really need any more money. But then, you know, the bookings slow down a little bit. And like I said, we got to do something between contracts. And my roommate was doing these handyman gigs through an app called TaskRabbit. And I noticed he never complained about paying bills. He never seemed strapped for cash. I was like, hey man, you know, could you tell me a little bit about it? Long story short, I went along with him on one of his jobs, kind of see how it worked, checked out the app, signed up, bought a $70 toolkit off of Amazon. My first gig as a handyman took me days. It was like assembling a woman's furniture. She was moving into a new apartment. It was like a bed, a dresser. I had to like mount a mirror and I had like this cheap toolkit and before this, I was not a handy person. That's another thing to say about these side hustles. Like, as I'm saying these, you might be like, oh my God, like I couldn't do that. You can learn. And TaskRabbit isn't the only app. There's a few others out there, Handy, Thumbtack. Again, like the dog walking thing, do some Googling, find out what's active in your area. All of this to say that being a handyman can be pretty lucrative. It worked for me. So if you're handy or if you're interested in learning something new, might want to give it a try. Number 4 on the list, personal trainer slash gym coach. This one has been maybe my most consistent side hustle since I moved to the city. I started working as a trainer like 6 months after I got here. And it's great because my work hours are always early morning. I teach like a few classes in the morning and then I have time to audition throughout the day or do whatever else I have to do, take meetings, etc. And when I'm on the road, you know, I've had a few personal clients that were virtual. So if I needed to make a little extra money while I'm taking a gig out of town, that was still available to me. And the particular gym that I've worked at has been really supportive of me and my journey as an artist. And, you know, if I had to leave town for 2 to 3 months to do an acting gig, there's always been work for me when I came back. That's not always the case, but if you can find a gig like that, hold on to them. Don't get too overconfident. In my experience, there are times in our careers where it's just like, you're rolling, you're booking back to back, and then all of a sudden nothing. And you're gonna need something to keep yourself afloat. So being a personal trainer has been very consistent for me, and there have been a few months in there where I've done well for myself. Yeah. And last but not least on my list of side hustles, number 5, teaching artistry. So what is a teaching artist? Kind of popular here in New York City. So if you're out of New York, maybe it's an unfamiliar term. Essentially what it is an artist who's practicing their craft professionally, works with an organization to teach workshops to youth around our city. Right? So for me, I work for a few different theaters in town, some pretty big theaters, and I go and teach workshops based on the shows happening on stage, right? So If the theater is doing a play by Katori Hall, for example, then I'll go do workshops based on that play. I was looking back at my budget spreadsheet. I keep very detailed account of my income, if you couldn't tell already. And there was this one moment where I raked it in as a teaching artist. What happened was I had a few overlapping contracts, a few overlapping residencies, and these organizations I work for pay really well, like per workshop. And not only did I have like 2 to 3 workshops per organization, but also both residencies were like 10 sessions each. So I was teaching like between 30 to 40 workshops within a span of 6 weeks. It really stacked up. Being a teaching artist has also been incredibly convenient for me, similar to the personal training, where if I have to leave town, the orgs I work for, it's literally no problem. I just say, hey, I'm gonna be out for these dates. I'll let you know when I'm back. And when I'm back, they're like, great, we'll continue to offer you work. Now, I will say that 1 month where I had all those crazy workshops, that's not the norm. I'm not consistently making that upper echelon of my side hustle money from teaching artistry, but I will say it's very consistent, and I do make a healthy amount consistently as a teaching artist. So if you've got an art scene in your city, if there are many professional theaters in your city, there's probably teaching artistry work to be had and to be done. So I'd look into that if you haven't already. Look, I believe there's no shame in a good side hustle game. In fact, it may even give you the freedom to do the work that you want to do. As an actor, sometimes there's contracts that come along that just don't pay very well, to be honest. But if it's a project I'm really excited about, I may want to take on that contract, and having a few side hustles here and there could help to, piece the thing together to where it can make sense for me financially, and I can accept this contract and I don't have to worry about paying the bills. You know what I'm saying? If what I shared in today's video was helpful for you in any way, please share it with a friend. I personally know too many artists, too many freelancers who are struggling to make ends meet simply because they don't know how to generate income from other places, and that does not have to be the case. Please share this one far and wide. Before you go, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. When you do that, it lets us know what kind of content is resonating with you. It lets me know what to make more of. All right, that's it for now. Till next time, y'all. Peace.